Fiat knew there was a huge potential market in Italy that had so far not even been touched: the demand for a small, cheap car. By the 1920s, no car company had given much thought to the need for a small car, with the possible exception of André Citroën and his Petit Citron. In 1920, there were only 735,000 cars in all of Europe. Italy had only 32,000 of them. But within 10 years, Italy had 6 times that number of motor cars on its roads. Parking and traffic were becoming serious problems. Elsewhere in the world, various inventors and specialty companies had tried out their own solutions to the problem, including these microcars cobbled together for the narrow urban streets of Europe and Japan. But designs such as these were obviously impractical for the mass market. Where would you put the groceries? Fiat decided that what Italy needed was a small car that could get 2 people and 100 pounds of luggage from one place to the next in minimal comfort. Fiat had made an early attempt at filling the specification as far back as 1919, but no production resulted. In 1932, Fiat asked designer Dante Giacosa to take another stab at the concept. In October of 1934, the company unveiled a new prototype for the Model 500, or in Italian, Cinquecento. Nicknamed the Topolino, or mouse, the 500 was only 10.5 feet long and weighed just 1,200 pounds. Giacosa, here reunited with his creation many years later, designed a tiny water-cooled 4-cylinder engine. The 569cc motor produced only 13 horsepower, barely enough to get the car up to 53 miles an hour. Unlike most cars of the time, the 500 had its engine mounted ahead of the front axle to maximize the passenger space, which also enabled Giacosa to give the Topolino a sporty sloping grille. Besides its Lilliputian proportions, the 500 also met Fiat's other principal goal. It was cheap, introduced at a price of only 5,000 lire, 2/5 the cost of a Balilla. Fiat's bet paid off. The inexpensive Topolino was a good match for the lifestyle of the growing Italian middle class of the 20s. Now almost any city dwellers could afford a little car to take them on a seaside holiday or down the new autostrada, Italian freeway. Fiat sold 122,000 Topolinos in the next 12 years. The Italian economy was booming. Mussolini had made the trains run on time. But as the roaring 20s gave way to the early 30s, Italy's gravy train began shuddering to a stop.